Hello and welcome to Dingle All The Way. I'm Simon,
I'm Lizzie.
and we're covering the past 2 weeks of everyone's favourite Yorkshire village. It's sure. It's I guess there's been lots of stories just like carrying on. It feels like in the past couple of weeks. I don't think we've got anything super new, but
Yeah, I think you're
I've
right.
quite enjoyed it though. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, and it does feel like, as you say, nothing particularly new has come to the fore, but there have been enjoyable progressions in all of them. Although I did feel for you when Bear got the job at the place. What's it called? That shipping
The
place.
haulage, whatever they do,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever it's called. And now he's like getting triggered by being in the workforce again. And I just thought, oh, Simon, you were so glad to finally see the back of that modern day slavery thing. And yet, just when we thought it was all over, he's still being a slave in his heart.
Isn't he? And look, I know it's more realistic for it to take time, etc., etc. But also, I'd love it to take time off screen because so other things developing, like e.g. Carrie and Jay's entire relationship is happening off screen. Like can't foresee them
Yeah,
having off screen. Uh,
so
Also,
true.
how old is he? Like, does he need a job? Surely should be retired at this point.
I'm pretty sure he turned 80. Oh no, that was Pollard. But I think
That's right.
he should be retired by now.
You'd think, wouldn't you? We'll simply never get to the bottom of what this company does because I know that they walk in and out of a room and they have got lorries. But what are they? What are they doing?
They put things in those lorries, but nobody knows what or why.
Chiefly dead bodies, but
Something I loved though with the whole getting people jobs thing was just Ruby like suddenly springing into action and being like Mandy's best mate, and like she was completely unhinged and I adored it, and she like kept doing impressions of Caleb being like, we're fully
yeah.
staffed, and I just thought, I love you.
That was so fun, all of that stuff. The way she burst into the pub to announce it, she did seem drunk. And it was also just, I mean, it didn't make any sense in the context of the scene, tonally. It was like she'd read her lines and she was like, you know what, I'm going to have fun with this. I'm not going to read the rest of the scene. I don't know where it comes in anyone's story because I
And
think
I
if
don't
someone just simply don't care, and good for her, actually. So,
Yeah, I did think I feel like we're seeing more of Beth Cordingley than of Ruby Milligan at this point, and I'm kind of up for that.
yeah, she's one of life's enthusiasts. I think that's fair to say. She also had some very funny lines earlier I guess the thing she was trying to make up for with Mandy, where Mandy was like, "I could cut your hair," and she said, "Would you take your Ferrari to a secondhand bike shop?"
Yeah, that was good.
So good. Um, she had a meeting about the wine business, whatever that means. She literally described it as a meeting about the wine business. It's like you work in the wine business. All your meetings are about the wine business.
Presumably about the wine business.
You know, so I said I've got a meeting about the charity sector. Like, what does that mean?
That's your entire 9 to 5, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I
I
did
did
enjoy
that.
Mandy or whoever, or Manpreet, someone being like, "Oh, you're still doing that?" And she's like, "Yes, I'm still doing that," which did feel a bit like the voice of the listener, of the viewer, rather.
Yeah, it
Like,
certainly felt like my voice of like, oh, that had definitely fallen off the radar. I thought it was just that you accidentally ordered wine once, but apparently it's not going business concern, and I do love that for her.
the speed with which Mandy closed down her business and got a new job. She had the idea one morning, and by the afternoon, she had ended the business. She was working somewhere else. Presumably, because you have to like do all sorts of filing to close a business. She
Yeah,
presumably has rent on this place for a while.
like surely she'd be maybe trying to sell the lease, if not the business itself.
Yeah.
I
And are
work
there
for a
no
business
future
broker.
appointments? I know she said it was like empty, but did it go to literally no one was coming ever again?
And it was quite, yeah, your observation about the emotional sort of turmoil of it all is quite good, because like she was apparently so sort of down and ashamed about it that she hadn't told Paddy, and in the space of a morning was weeping about it in the salon, told Paddy, and then was like, actually I don't want this anymore and I feel great. And you're like, I think that's the kind of thing that maybe means you should hold fire for a minute and just work out what your emotions actually are, and then work out what to do.
Yeah, at least think about it. I feel this is a hasty decision that everyone is unquestioningly supporting her in. No one's be like, "Are we sure that you're not just feeling a bit sad? Your husband maybe going to prison before you
Yeah.
like make these big decisions."
Yeah, and I think like I work for a business brokers, and quite often I'm writing documents for businesses that are like not doing super great and their owner wants to like sell on. And I usually do a section in the documents that are like, here's the growth potential, or like here's ways you could change the business to like make it better. There's always things you can do. I don't know if she's doing much marketing. Maybe she needs to change her opening hours. Maybe she could appeal to a new demographic. But it's not surprising. She's just been like not really putting much effort into it because I guess she has had a husband nearly go to prison. And then she's like, I'm not going to bother. Bye.
Bye. And I feel like it used to be an office. Was that where the office was for the haulage company before? Because Jimmy used to run a haulage company, possibly still does. Who knows?
Maybe
But
it is.
who knows what he does day to day? He just sort of wanders around. But it did feel like maybe there must be a reason they've done this. Maybe it's just because they want Mandy in the office scenes up there, in the factory scenes rather.
Mm.
Maybe it's because a new business is coming. I don't know. But there does seem to be there's a lot of scope for people to go into whatever this factory is. And if it is manual labor or like chiefly moving things from A to B, are we sure that Mandy and Bear are the dream team for that? Like, I don't want to be sexist or ageist. Lots of women and older people, I'm sure, could do this, and maybe Bear is stronger than most old men. That's fine. But
He's a
like,
wrestler.
he was a wrestler, as we keep being told. But Mandy doesn't scream to me like manual labor.
No, I mean she's got very nice nails, famously, so she can't really be hauling many boxes around.
No, and she doesn't seem like she'd be great at any sort of administrative task or task that involves going to your job. But
Yeah, I mean she did kind of make a big song and dance about the fact she doesn't want to run a salon anymore, but then set up a new salon within the warehouse.
that was I've never seen anything more revolting than those inverted commas floral arrangements that she was putting everywhere, because
Yeah,
like they were mostly feathers, but they were so horrible.
it was a really tough watch, wasn't it? Grueling.
And yeah, and everyone thinks that Jay is being very unreasonable. He's like, "What are you doing?" But I think he was for once the voice of reason in the scene.
Yeah, it definitely felt to me like a you should at least have asked permission for this rather than like I'm just gonna do this by the way and I don't care.
Yeah. Speaking of like fast job turnarounds, Dr. Todd retired
I
with
know.
no notice. And then was she? I wonder if she'd been in that meeting with HR and they were like, "We can either go forward with this, or you can just please leave." But
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It's that sort of like jump before you're pushed thing.
yeah, I mean, it's not great if they like their approach to bullying complaints are just
Why don't you
getting
get
someone to
out?
retire, but because that doesn't really have anyone. But and she for some reason had like a little presentation in the waiting room. Like if I was there waiting for an appointment, I don't think I'd want to see like an impromptu speech by some medical staff who was leaving, who possibly someone I had an appointment with that day. It's
Yeah,
like, actually, I'm
that's
done.
weird. I just think I can't be bothered mainly to go through this whole thing. You know, when it was like, oh, she's leaving, great, that's really nice. And now she's not leaving, she's blackmailing Charity, she's still bullying Jacob, she's trying to go out with Vanessa, but just like kind of using her as an instrument for whatever she wants. And you're like, oh, I don't want to watch anyone else ruin lots of other people's lives.
Yeah, I still feel more invested in this storyline than our usual sort of villain of the week, just because I think she's a more interesting character, and I guess that there will be. I feel like there will be a reason connected to Maya, as we've talked about, rather than
True, that'd be
just
nice
like
if
she's
I
randomly evil. Yeah. Obviously, Manpreet has not been central to the story in the way I had hoped, but
yeah, that's true. That was your main aim for this whole thing, but
yeah, for some reason, instead of moving in with her dear friend, she moved in with someone she didn't know who lived next door. So,
yeah, and then fell in love with her. And I mean, we've
can you
been
imagine if I moved to live next door to like my best friend? Because and I was like, I can't move in with you because Ryan is living with
Ryan, who you appear never to have met before, but you do.
you. Or since, but like, it's
That's
never
so
crossed
true.
paths. There was something I did really like in this story, which is Jacob finally tells Sarah, and Sarah just believes him and supports him. And it's like it's so
Mm,
refreshing that they didn't go down the like, oh, but you lied about XYZ or any of these other things. But she was just, I mean, there was a bit of that, I guess, when she's like, well, I didn't realize you'd been bursting into the toilets, but broadly, like, just supportive. And I thought he did really well in those scenes when he was just
yeah.
so like devastated by like I can't cope with this.
Yeah, I think I was also a bit worried that there was going to be a big back and forth, especially when, because didn't Vanessa have that conversation with Sarah where she was like, "Don't you know that he was like bursting into the toilets and stuff?"
Mm-mm.
And then that kind of never really went anywhere. And you think, I didn't want it to stand in the way of their relationship or in the way of her believing him, but I did think they would at least be like, "So what was going on there?"
Yeah, maybe that happened off screen.
Yeah,
Like,
or maybe it
what's
happened
going
and I forgot. I don't know.
on? I will say, like, if he is trying to avoid her or doesn't want to, add fuel to the fire of her allegations, I'd avoid just like constantly cornering her in private spaces. He's
Yeah,
never not at her front door or in the loos with her.
like keeps on relentlessly dropping around flowers, and you think not really necessary given the circumstances.
Yeah, and then when he was trying to record her and she conveniently just like admitted everything, but I don't know if that's because she knew he was recording. But either way, like considering before that she had never admitted anything, I mean,
Yeah,
her like everyone enjoys popping balloons was very menacing in a way that I quite appreciated.
yeah, I do think she's got a lot more menacing since leaving the hospital. She's just her fully unhinged self and is just like, "I will crush you, and I don't care."
Yeah, um, I think it was in that phone scene. There's a line that I thought you might have taken to heart when she said to him, "When were you born? The 90s?"
Yeah. Well, I feel like he was probably born in the 2000s.
Again, because he might have been born in the 90s, but it'd be very late 90s.
Oh,
Like, I
late
didn't
then.
really know what she meant by that.
Or was it
Because if she
meant for an
said,
insult to be like, "Wow, you're so old for a medical student"?
I was thinking it was like, gosh, you're so young. But I don't know. Because either way, it's like 90s doesn't feel either old or young at this point. It's just,
'Cause we're just people that exist.
because if she said, oh, when were you born? Like yesterday, sure, a common expression and
Yeah,
relevant sort of to the thing. But when we were born in the 90s, like, yeah, probably was born in the 90s. Well, let's find out when Joe Warren Plant was born.
I think he was probably born in like 2002.
Oh, that's vile. He was born in 2002. My gosh.
Can you imagine how clever I am?
You're totally obsessed with Joe Warren Plant. I've learned on this on this call.
I'm not stalking him, just for the record.
Guess his birthday.
Um, the 19th of June.
It's the 12th of April, but wouldn't it have been great if you'd been right?
It would have been quite exciting, but I think
Yeah.
I would never have beaten the allegations. So
No, it's probably for the best. Um, yeah, so who knows what that line meant, but I enjoyed hearing it nonetheless.
that is quite strange, but yeah,
Whereas the worst line I've heard in this is when Vanessa said, "Your mum would be ashamed of you."
I
I couldn't
know,
believe
I hated
it.
that. And then wasn't it like kind of the next day or something where she turned up and was like, "Never mind, your mum would be proud of you." Or maybe it was Kerry who said that, but it did feel
Yeah,
quite like, oh, you can't just
yeah.
say that and expect it to make up for it.
That was so chill. I was like, you've known this boy since he was like 8 or something. You've known this woman for a week.
Yeah,
Why don't you believe him? A, or even if you don't believe him, like, don't say your mum would be ashamed of you to someone whose mum died a year ago.
it's so bad.
It's unforgivable.
But my big worry is that I spend all my time in these storylines just thinking like, it's okay because the truth will come out and they'll get their retribution and everyone will be like, "Wow, you were right all along." But do you know what still hasn't been resolved?
The
The
slurry.
slurry. And so now I don't trust the Emmerdale writers to give closure where it's needed because Mac has still been blamed for the slurry. So I just don't know whether Jacob will ever fully be sort of like forgiven by the village for his perceived crimes.
Yeah, because I do think often these things we do get like some sort of half-hearted, half a scene of them being like, oh, turns out you were right all along. Never mind.
Mm.
Um, or it becomes really fixated on one small point, like it'll all be about her upsetting Vanessa rather than about what she's done to Jacob or something. But
Yeah, she'll do something small and then everyone will be like, that was the final straw.
yeah, exactly. And so now she's blackmailing Charity for £100,000,
Which
which
obviously she doesn't have. Just because you own
yeah,
half of a pub doesn't mean that the turnover or indeed the profit is gonna even
no.
like touch the sides.
And I don't know if she wants her to sell it because you talk about being a seller's market, but how does she expect her to sell the pub without any of her family noticing?
Yeah. Again, I work for business brokers. I'm sure we can make it work, but It will
It'd
be
be a bit
tricky.
awkward if they're just like, oh, by the way, we can't live here anymore on account of someone else owning it. But just don't worry about it.
It'll all come out in the wash, okay?
Oh, she hasn't said that Cherry doesn't live there. She Chaz lives there. But even so, more
Yeah.
awkward for Chaz. I guess she could sell her half, but to whom? And for why?
Yeah, maybe
Maybe,
she will sell her share in the pub to like Bob or something because he is always there.
and who knows what his personal finances are? There's no way of knowing.
Yeah, I mean, Bob is really just a concept more than a person, I think.
Yeah, he did also say that he would never retire, which is an anecdote that no one needs to hear at a retirement party. But
The actor or Bob?
Bob said this in character. I mean,
God.
I'm sure the actor won't either. But it's like, well, I understand you won't retire, Bob, but what exactly is your profession? You just sort of turn up occasionally in the pub, turn up in the shop. I thought he owned the shop, but he does seem to work mostly in the pub now. Not a
Yeah,
shop,
I think
cafe. Sorry, cafe.
it was at the B&B, I thought.
Oh yeah, that's right. He used to be in the cafe under Brenda, but he's gone to the B&B now.
Who's running the B&B? Because Bob's always at the pub. Does the B&B still exist?
Does it still exist? Would anyone ever stay there? Maybe that's why Mandy's clientele have dried up. Everyone was doing a lovely B&B horrendous makeover bargain package.
That's
Um,
almost definitely what was happening.
yeah, who else used to? Bernice used to be at the B&B. I don't know who owns the B&B. Maybe Jimmy. Maybe that's what he does now.
I don't know. I think Jimmy's just like doing the cafe with Nicola.
Yeah.
Nicole. Where did that come from?
Just
I
seeing that. It's very confusing.
While we're talking about the pub, can we talk about the enormous amount of darts that we've had to watch for the last week?
It's really become quite dart centric, and I to the point where I think it'd be very hard to enjoy a drink or meal at the pub without
Yeah.
people throwing darts near your head.
You would just get stabbed in the eye whether you wanted it or not.
And that's in fact a guarantee. That's a Woolpack guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something fun was Claudette's customized darts with a little Christian fish on them.
yes, that was a lovely touch. And I
Lovely.
could see she would have got deeply into darts at some point because she might well have helped out at some like young man's club in London at some point. It seems like her vibe.
Yeah, she was probably part of like a Mennonite centre.
I wasn't where I was going, but yeah, no, probably. Because I can see, while she is horrible to everyone most of the time, I can see that she would put her heart fully into like outreach, like darts based outreach.
That's space outreach. Outreach with a spike.
um, and yeah, I love that she's good at it. I love that Vanessa's bad at it. It's like they've made the most of what is a totally unnecessary storyline. Lewis coming up with some fanciful tale about how he's brilliant for no reason.
Yeah,
Sure.
we love that. Yeah, I think the darts was a bit of light entertainment that we all needed, even though I was a bit like, is this going anywhere? And then realized it wasn't. Once I realized it wasn't, I was like, that's just nice that this is a storyline in and of itself rather than like it's teeing up something random
That's
later.
true. Yeah, the last thing we need is it to become about like someone actually going into professional darts or
Yeah, or like someone gets hit in the head with a dart and then it becomes an insurance claim against the pub and then someone blackmails them. You know, you can see
yeah,
that
I
happening.
could see us rolling and rolling, but we don't want that. No. Um, yeah, so part of Lewis claiming briefly that he was a darts champion did involve Vinny declaring his love for him, which I don't think we've seen them together on screen except them getting together and
Yeah,
briefly when
all
they were trying
they
to engineer Cammy and Belle, and now they're in love. So
yeah, all they did was look at a sheep and kiss, up Cammy and Belle, and then sit in the pub and declare their love for each other. Which, don't get me wrong, they also went on a date with Mandy there.
that's right. So they've done all the big milestones of a relationship.
It is quite an unusual one.
Like maybe we could see more of them, and obviously more of Belle and Cammy, and less of Bear looking sad. Maybe.
Yeah, just oh yeah, I was gonna say less of everything else, but actually, I'd say I'm enjoying the majority of the storylines at the moment, which is big.
Yeah.
I would like
Um,
some of them to be wrapped up sooner than I know they're going to be, e.g., the Dr. Todd thing. But I'm like, on the face of it, I am enjoying it.
yeah. And I loved Nicola being really angry they were playing darts on her birthday. That was a lovely touch.
Yeah, that was
So,
cute, and that was quite on brand.
yeah. What other stories have you got going on? Well, we've got Dawn, his revenge plan.
So true. That's oh yeah, because there was a big like it was at the end of an episode, wasn't it? When it was like, I've got the money in my account and I'm gonna buy the salon, and it was like, wow, theme tune plays, and then it's been a few days and we haven't heard anything now.
Oh no, Just a Vow she was playing, wasn't she? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Take a Bow.
Take a Vow. You're right. And I did think, she played him well, and he's surprisingly stupid about these sorts of things. But
No, I think it's just because he's in love. He's very astute and like wily when it comes to other people, but he like Dawn could do anything and he would just go.
yeah, and you can see she's struggling when she's like macking on with him. When
Oh, I hate that. I wish you hadn't used that. Oh,
I'm bringing it back.
I wish you wouldn't.
Yeah, she's doing lots of over-the-shoulder anxious acting, which is a soap staple, of course.
Hmm.
I did enjoy Joe saying, "You, Lucas, Clemmy, whatever the other one's name is."
I know it was a textbook example of like trying to have an emotional heart-to-heart conversation and someone who's not in the right place for that, and you just think like, can you stop making jokes and just like actually care about me?
Oh, it's just what it means to be in a relationship with a British person, I assume. So,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, um, yeah, and I am intrigued to see where she goes. I feel like she's going to have the regrets of like, no, I do love him. I actually want to stop this, but I can't because it's snowballing now. Because Moira's like, once it starts, it can't stop. Although so far, what seems to have started is him investing in her business, which I feel like could stop. But
Yeah, probably could stop at any point, but yeah, who's to say? Um,
what's the rest of the plan? I don't know.
yeah. Something I did think was quite interesting was that she came down incredibly hard on Lucas for telling Billy that they were having another baby, and she was
Mm,
like, I can't believe you would tell Billy, but like that poor little boy's frame of reference has been like, go upstairs and tell your sister that you were pregnant. Like he probably just thinks it's his gospel to share.
okay.
Like that's what we do. My mum is pregnant and the world must know. Like you can't set that expectation and then take it away from him.
Yeah, and in his defense, like telling his dad was probably make or stepdad or whatever he is makes more sense than like telling the cleaner. Like I think these,
Yeah, like, important news.
yeah.
Oh, but it was nice to see Billy again because he hasn't really had anything going on for a while, even if he was only there for like a little bit. And I did think when Dawn was being like, I do just promise that my kids are not going to be like playing second fiddle to the Tates. Like, you can trust me with this. Obviously, she was saying that because she knows she's going to take them all away and run. But I was like, maybe she would go back to Billy. And in some ways, I'm like, I hope Billy wouldn't take her back. In other ways, I'm like, I want to see Billy on my screen, so maybe that'd be a way that he could stay on screen. Although I guess if Dawn is leaving,
Mm,
then they
maybe they'll
won't.
both leave together. Because in some way,
No.
because I mean, I would also love to see more of him. But if she's saying like, "Don't worry, I'll always put the kids first," but then there's also going to be like, "FYI, I'm fleeing the village with them, and you'll never see them again." That does
It does feel
seem
difficult,
quite.
doesn't it?
So I'd rather he went with them and got to spend time with his kids. I mean,
But
I'd rather they gave him a story, but that's never going to happen. So,
his story seems to be like leaving.
yeah. So, well, it'd be nice if they all left together if they are leaving. Rather, what would be really annoying is if she leaves and then he just like leaves for unrelated reasons 2 months later or something.
Yeah, because they could have tied it up nicely and given those kids a better life. But
Yeah,
oh, and I suppose there is potential for the children to come back in sort of 10 years when they're teenagers or young adults and have their own storylines and stuff.
that's true. Because it does feel like Joe's not going anywhere. It does feel like they want to bolster the Tate family.
Yeah.
And I'd see there's more Tates coming at some point, and another Sugden coming, or at least they said the executive producer was like someone else for the Tate and Sugden units or fat, or like so not necessarily actual Tates or
Oh,
Sugdens, but maybe
interesting.
something to bolster them.
Mm.
Obviously, they've lent into bringing Graham back with mixed success, but yeah.
Did you see they're bringing back oh my word, I've forgotten her name.
Oh, Patsy Kensit,
Yeah, what was the say is
her
it
name's
Sadie?
Sadie. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
is she
before
the
my
one
time.
who was like going out with Jimmy when some of the Rob Ron stuff was happening? Because I remember seeing that in the Rob Ron playlist.
Oh no, it won't have been because she'd left long before that.
Oh, who am I
So
thinking of? Like
who
little
might?
blonde woman who was like quite shallow and had a boob job, and all the boys.
Oh yeah, Adele Silvers is the actor's name. I'm trying to think.
Okay,
She
I
is- she came back and then Jimmy got amnesia. Was it that story?
maybe.
She hit him with a torch.
Oh gosh, I thought it was her that was coming back, and I was quite excited because I was like, "You're unhinged, and I can't wait to see you on screen." But it's not her.
Oh, she was fun. Interesting cover. Yeah, she, I think, is the mother of one of the children that's running around at the roost at the moment. Kelly Windsor. Yeah, that's who that was, I think.
Oh, I wanted it to be her.
Yeah, that would have been great. Of course, she was there for a long time. Um, I am judging from the fan reaction. People are very excited that Sadie's coming back. So I guess it could be fun, but I don't. I know she had a relationship with Jimmy and Cain different times. So, you
Gosh,
know,
how will that be then?
I don't know how she. I don't know why she would come back or how that would fit into anything. But maybe she'll marry Graham. Who knows?
That could be nice. And then they could
And
both
kill
leave.
him.
Yeah.
It does seem like, oh, sorry. Like Dr. Todd is very keen to get murdered, so I was wondering if she'll get murdered, because when you say to someone, I need £100,000, it is a surefire way to be murdered.
Yeah, it's basically asking for it at that stage.
So we've not had a murder for, a good couple of months. So
We are due one.
speaking of like complex plots that are finally, like, some people know stuff and some people don't, like Cain now knows about Robert and Joe, and like this whole like sprawling Joe, Moira, revenge, whatever, who knows what, who knows when, what they're going to do about it. It's quite hard to keep on top of it all, isn't it?
Yeah, my impression is that it's all just sort of come out in the wash.
Yeah, I couldn't work out if. So Cain, yeah, attacks Robert, or Sam attacks Robert with Cain. Then he tells her about Vic, and then Cain maybe forgives him at the end. Because when they went into hospital, he's like, this isn't over. And at the end, he was like, take care, bye.
Yeah, I think he had a chat with Aaron, and Aaron was like, "You would do the same for your family, you know." And then Kane was like, "Oh, to be fair, I would." And then it's just like, okay, great. Which doesn't feel very Kane. It was, don't get me wrong,
Mm,
lovely. Glad that it happened. Refreshing for me personally. But I don't feel like it's very Kane.
no, it doesn't feel very Cain. Because, I mean, a lot of the time he does things that, or he's like, he's angry with people who are doing things that he would do in a heartbeat.
Mm.
So I don't know. And what, yeah, but it did feel a bit like one of those okay, we've moved on moments. So
This plotline actually needs to end now, so we're just gonna call it quits.
yeah, but someone's burning the farm down. So
Yeah, who do we think that is? I thought maybe Joe.
Joe. Well, I was wondering if it was Sam just hadn't picked up what they were meant to be doing next. So it's like fine.
Yeah, maybe. It does feel quite Sam coded.
Yeah, but who else
Um,
would do it? Like Ross for no reason, maybe. Maybe someone's coming
yeah.
back. I mean, it might be Joe, but why would Joe? Because Joe owns the farm, so why would he burn it? Maybe for insurance or something.
Unless it would be like Kyle or something if he'd like overheard stuff.
Oh, that's a good shout. It does feel like something, because yeah, we were getting lots of like him not coping stuff going on.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that's the
maybe
best bet.
he's probably overheard things that are going on and he's like, I have to do something about this.
Yeah, Carl and Isaac, particularly Isaac, continue to be absolutely brilliant in the story. They're doing such
Honestly,
a good job.
so good. I love them both and they're so cute. And I loved that moment when like Kyle bought Isaac a magazine and was like, I think you just need a distraction. I was like, oh, you're so
Yeah,
nice. I love that. Those actors are
sweet.
both so good.
Yeah, I was slightly aggrieved in today's episode when they were fighting over the last piece of pizza, and Isaac like, "It's mine," and then immediately left it on his plate. It's like, eat the pizza, Isaac. It's probably stone cold at this point. Yeah. So it was slightly odd when they were leading up to Kane finding out, when he referred to Robert as mate, and I'm like, I can't imagine Kane has ever called Robert mate before. Like, why are you building up this friendship to fall apart?
Yeah, so true. Like even before any of this happened, they were never friendly. He always resented him. He was like, "I never trusted you." Didn't he like previously beat him almost to death in a warehouse before?
Oh, of course he did. It's like a home from home for him. Yeah.
It's part of his annual routine.
Yeah, it's like a sign of spring. Like the daffs are out. Kane's
The
committing
seasons are
GBH in a
changing.
barn.
Oh,
Oh,
dear.
dear. Yeah, I mean, it's yet another reason why this farm surely had no estate agent value. Like, it's always being set fire to. Like, who's
Yeah,
insuring that place? What insurance company is like, sure, we'll do that for you?
yeah. It's constantly being vandalized or arsoned, or there's just criminal activity running through its veins. What
Running
bad
through
did
its
we
very
do?
veins. Yeah, I mean, all being covered in slurry, of course. That But I guess the insurance company didn't cover that, so that's something.
Yeah, and it doesn't appear to have any livestock.
That's true. Something I loved, and am I wrong in thinking it's a shout out to the podcast? Maybe I am. About this horrible new non-existent dingle farm. Cain said tomorrow that they're to go and fix the
The
fence
fence
in
in
the
the
back field.
cornfield! I heard that and I was like, surely they're listening.
I think at least one writer who wrote that episode is listening and put that in for us.
Just
I think so.
because I literally heard it and I was like, stop. They said, I know, and she was literally like, did you manage to have time to look at the fence in the top field?
And like they don't even have fields, so what are they referring to?
It was so good. I can't believe that I didn't say that as like the first thing in this episode because that tickled me so much, and it did make me think like, I think surely someone's listening to us.
I think so. If you're a writer in Emmerdale and you put it in for us, let us know, dinglealltheway.pod@gmail.com. We want to know if it's actually from us.
It's like, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that was a big moment.
Yeah,
we did have a pretty solid end to the Bear, Paddy, Dylan ongoing saga this time. I hope it was again one of those like put a button on it scenes where they stood by Enya's grave and just Bear, like in a I would say quite uncharacteristic way, summarized the state of modern slavery in the country.
It was quite weird, and they were also kind of. It would appear recording it in a wind tunnel. There were times where like, they were going to be pushed over by the wind, and you could barely hear what they were saying. And I think they were probably just like, "That's our best take," and it was kind of atmospheric, so we'll just go with it. But Bear was just there, like, they're all out there. They're in our car washes. They're in our nail salons. All the while, just like.
Yeah. It's like, who are you talking to? Why is Alex saying it like this? Yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, it might have been enough to sustain the nail salon for Mandy if she'd considered using slave labor. So she's.
Oh gosh, why didn't she think that? She could have got Bear.
Simo could have done it.
Yeah, and what was the point of Simo? They finally convinced him to come forward, and it was like, yay, victory. He sabotaged it, and it was like, oh no, so sad. And then it didn't make any difference at all.
No, they were like, the lawyer was like, as it turns out, no one even listened to that. So it's
yeah, do you know what? It turns out none of us care about what you think.
But I did think it was good bait and switch writing when Paddy was like, one of us didn't get let off, and it's him and Dylan, and then it pans around and Bear is there because I think it was leading us to think Bear was in prison. But
yeah, and then it's a suspended sentence, which I did have to Google because I was like, what does that even mean? But it essentially means nothing.
Yeah, it's a classic soap trope. So I've seen a few suspended sentences in my time when they sort of act like they've got off, even though they do have a criminal record, and it presumably would hugely devastate their lives in the future. But it's like, this is a thing where we don't ever have to think about it again. Because now if he commits another crime, he's to prison. But
really? But he's Paddy, so like he won't, surely.
Yeah, the vets board are like, honestly, we don't care, keep vetting and whatever. So that was nice that they came to that conclusion, I guess. Mandy offered to go with him to this meeting, which I think they would have been horrified by.
It really would have put the cat amongst the pigeons in quite an unhelpful way.
Yeah, imagine if you were at some sort of tribunal and the wife is just there being like, it's a lovely guy, he's really tries his hardest. It's like, okay.
Like, especially when she is caked in as much makeup as she is, I think it would bring whatever you were saying into disrepute.
Yeah, I'm wearing like 8 different types of animal print at once.
But... yeah, I think it's best that she stays out of these things. And I say that with love.
Oh, we love her. I do find that she's never issued a subtle line in her life, but that's just in character. I think she's 0 to 100 in a direction,
and we love her for it.
This is so unrelated, but I wanted to get it in here somewhere. It's honestly got nothing to do with the show, but I feel like people need to know. Is that Nigella Lawson started following me on Blue Sky yesterday.
What's Blue Sky?
It's like fake Twitter.
Oh, that's cute. What do you tweet about books?
I do, and I didn't even follow her, but I do now because you got to support the fans. But she,
you are good like that.
She quote tweeted or blue skied or whatever a review I did of a novel by Alice Thomas Ellis, and she was like, "Loved this book and loved your review," sort of vibe.
Oh, Simon, you're famous.
Nigella and me go way back to yesterday, but it's great.
I always forget that outside of this very small podcast with like little to no interest in it, you actually have quite a successful podcast and like a fairly well known in literary circles. And then we're just here like watching Emmerdale and chatting about it. Like nobody made us do this.
No one actually asked or wanted it, but yeah, you can find me stuckinabook.com if you want to follow my book stuff, to your books and my podcast. But I will say this is my favorite podcast. It's more
That's
fun.
so nice. Yeah, to be fair, we both have kind of like more respectable
Of
things.
course, yeah.
Like I run a pottery business and not really successfully, but that is my main
It's
thing. But yeah,
successful.
I
We're
think I
both
should spend more time on this than that.
we both have things that we're good at and respected for, and yet here we are.
We are making ourselves watch Emmerdale. Nobody wanted this but us, and sometimes even we don't want this, but it's across to bear
I
now.
do love it. I love it so much. But I also do think like there are 3-4 million people who watch Emmerdale. Why aren't more of them listening to this podcast?
I don't think many Emmerdale viewers know what a podcast is.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get us wrong. We've got a lovely loyal audience.
Yeah, we love you
We
all.
love you, and we're going to keep doing this. Oh my gosh, it's our anniversary episode. That's why we're having like a crisis.
What
1
is it?
year since we. I think it was
We
the
didn't
18th
know.
of
I wonder
May.
if
James got in touch
that's
to give us the
crazy.
exact date. Yeah.
Should we take some time to reflect?
Yeah, let's be in silence for 10 to 12 minutes.
And then we'll just do farming content and it'll be done.
Oh, I've enjoyed it so we're going to keep doing it. It's not like a sort of farewell, but
Yeah.
like it's so fun. It's so silly.
Yeah, I quite enjoy having this as an aspect of my personality that I keep under wraps and then surprise people with. Like it was a few months into my job when I was like, oh yeah, like I watch Emmerdale, and people were like, lol, no you don't. And I was like, I watch it so much that I have a podcast about it. And it's a great one to whip out of the back pocket.
It's good.
I've had a lot of fun doing it. I love the people who we feel like we know now through it, i.e. like James Ellis and like the Rob Ron podcast people.
Rachel, she's great.
Rachel Troutman, we adore. The Conversation Street people. Like I 1 year ago never thought that my life would have been enriched as much by doing a silly little podcast with you and getting to know all of these great people, but it's been so fun.
Yeah. On the Home to the Farm Facebook group, that's fun as well. Yeah, it's great. And I think it's less of a surprise to my friends and family, given that I've made loving neighbours part of my personality for so long, but it's just like another one. And quite often I get people who are like, oh, you love EastEnders, don't you? I'm like, no, at least learn the right soap.
That's so insulting.
I've yet to convince many of my friends to listen to this podcast, but here it is.
Whereas kind of a weird number of my friends do listen to the occasional episode just because they're like, oh, it's just Lizzie and her friend Simon being silly.
My friend Marley loves it, so hi Marley.
I love Marley now that I've met her at your 40th.
Marley's a treasure. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna keep going. We've seen off other Emmerdale podcasts in our time. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I think you're right. But when we go to the tour, that's when we move into the big leagues, when we get the Emmerdale cast invested.
You know as well as I do, we're not going to have the gumption to do that.
Oh, I know.
We're just going to be at the back of the tour thing like, I like Emmerdale. Yeah, and we're going to go home, we're going to be like, maybe next time.
We'll go back next year. My plan was, and currently is, to get whichever guest we meet to record a quick voice note of like, welcome to Dingle All The Way. But
yeah, that would be cute.
It really depends who it is, because if it's like Charlotte Bellamy, I'd happily ask her. But if it's like Jeff Hordley, I'd be too scared. Yeah, she's obsessed. She did not reference Dingle All The Way when I mentioned it in the cameo that I requested.
But she does love me. I just think Jeff Hordley is a treasure.
He is a sweetheart. I think but if it's like, oh gosh, if it's like obviously Ross or cameo, we know that I won't be able to say a word. So
you will be weeping, unfortunately, but I will have to just push forward.
Yeah.
Are we going to go in together when we meet them? Or are we going to do it?
Oh yeah, no, in together, yeah.
But then does that mean, because presumably they allocate a certain amount of time per person, I don't want to only have half of our allotted time.
I don't want to go in on my own. That'd be awful.
I also don't want to go in on my own.
I can imagine if you're that person who's like, no, we've not had enough time, I'm not leaving.
You can't kick us out yet. There's 2 of us in here.
This means too much. And it's just like Lewis there being like, what's going on?
Terror.
Unless it is Graham, in which case I'll just wave through the door and then I'll be on my way.
Oh, if it's Beth Cordingley, she might end up getting a restraining order against me. I love her so much.
I want it to be Dawn, so she'll be like, oh, it's you from the shop.
I already know you. Why are you here?
Oh dear.
Oh.
I think I'm down to strays. Do you have anything more?
Well, I didn't make any notes on any of it, so I can't remember.
Do you have
But
any strays you can make up?
do we have any? What has anything else happened plotline wise?
Nothing I made a note about, but sometimes we do just omit huge stories because we're not interested in them.
And I think we probably have done, but I don't remember any strays other than there was when Bear was sort of forced to do a lot of work on the allotment, which felt like slave labor again. And I remember thinking like, surely this is triggering for him, but weirdly he's taking to it.
Yeah.
And it was also the rainiest day in the world. And I thought, I bet the actors were gutted about this, but it did actually work very well for the scene itself of like,
that's true.
You have to work outside in the rain the whole time.
Yeah, one of the things I noted down during that scene was the most fake looking asparagus I've ever seen. Just like someone just bought a lot of it. I mean, asparagus is expensive. It was about 50 quid worth of asparagus in that bed that they just like jammed in at random. And look, I don't know how asparagus grows, but I'm pretty sure it's not like that.
No, it is. I found out this week
Really?
as I was reading the Waitrose food magazine, shoot me, and there's a picture of just like sprigs of asparagus. Like they look like they'd just been rammed in the soil, and it threw me. And I sent a photo to a lot of my friends, like, guys, this is how asparagus grows. Can you even believe it? Because I thought asparagus just had like a central stem, and then the bits we eat are the bits coming off the stem. But no, you were eating the
They
whole
do one
thing.
by one.
Yeah.
Wow, in which case I take it back. The art department were on it. I mean, I don't know if they'd normally wave around in the wind that much, but it did. Maybe it was completely accurate. And I should know better because I come from the Vale of Evesham, famous for its asparagus. So
Stop telling people that you're a northerner, that you're from a farming background, that you're from all of these. Like, listen to yourself.
the Vale of Evesham is in Worcestershire. That is actually where I grew up.
Okay, fine. I'm so used to being like, I'm actually from Liverpool, and I grew up in the farms, and you're like,
Both those things are true.
I'm actually working class.
What you don't realise about me is that I'm salt of the earth. People don't.
I'd say you're salt of the earth. I'd say you're overqualified for everything you've ever done.
But I am from the north. I'm from Merseyside, and I didn't grow up on a farm, but I did grow up in a small village.
New house.
And my granddad was a farm labourer, which is why we called him Grandad Tractor. So
That's a nice touch.
that. Yeah, I've never been near an asparagus field, clearly though. So I must have been near them. Wick, I believe, I grew near Pershaw. Was couldn't move for the stuff, but
You can't move for asparagus in Wick.
yeah, that's, if you take nothing else from the podcast, take that. But I also wanted to note that Cammy wants extra hours at the garage, which is encouraging for him moving to the village.
That's so good, isn't it? I'm just obsessed with Cammy as a concept. I think he's
Imagine if he
hilarious.
ever got a story or if he ever saw him.
Like, imagine if he ever got the airtime he so clearly deserves.
Yeah.
He's just like holding the village together in quite an understated, well, not necessarily understated, but definitely under-recognized way. And you think, you're doing the most, and I love you.
Yeah, well, you know what I miss is his little story of when he was trying to defend Vinny against the bully, and admittedly he did it terribly, but I loved it.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was a sweet touch. And now that I have a good friend who is a Bradford boy, I just feel like I get Cammy.
In
I
a whole
get where
new
he's
light.
from. Sorry?
Yeah, in a whole new way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, in a whole new light.
But we have been promised a story about his family later in the year, but sometimes you get the cast being like, oh, we've got a big story coming up, and then it's something that happens for like 3 seconds once, and then so obviously no one's informed them that it's not a storyline.
Yeah, that's a shame. Maybe he'll just
like
speak to his mum on the phone and that'll be it.
Yeah. Dear, who could he move in with? We've probably talked about that before, but
I thought he already lived in that house of boys.
no, you keep thinking that, but he actually doesn't.
Oh, well, he should live in there.
He commutes from Bradford. He needs to move in somewhere else.
And that is quite a classic Bradford move.
I believe you. I have been to Bradford once, and it was terrifying. So. I should qualify that with I was waiting for my brother in the car outside the football ground when like a full football ground worth of people flowed down the road, and it felt like I was going to be killed.
Yeah, I too would be terrified.
And then one started like kicking someone else's car because they'd either
Ooh.
parked too close or they like almost hit him or something, I don't know. But I was there being like, please, I just want to leave. I've just spent a lovely afternoon in the cafe reading Deirdre Madden's Molly Fox's Birthday. Big recommend.
I just think if you had said that to the football louts, it might have turned even more sour.
It's like, can I get your hot takes on Deirdre Madden, please?
Please, I know you have opinions.
Oh dear. It's a good book. Anyway, I, Bob gave Vanessa relationship advice. Can you imagine anyone in the world you're less likely to take relationship advice from than Bob?
Like, truly not.
Yeah, he's been single for a while, hasn't he? But
Yeah, didn't he briefly he slept with Bernice when she came back for Gabby and Vinny's wedding?
no, that's right. And he was with Wendy for a while, but yeah, then
Who on
she
earth is
went.
Wendy?
Wendy was that one who had to leave because she was like blackmailing Ella or something.
Oh, the nurse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
yeah, she didn't do very much. She was brought in because her two sons were relatively big characters, but then they left and she just hung around for a bit.
There is quite a high turnover, isn't there? When you think about the fact we haven't been doing this podcast for that long, brackets exactly a year. And there's been so many people who've left and quite a few people who've come in. Is it normally like this?
I guess so. I think there was a bit of an axing spree, I guess, just before we started recording with the whole limousine thing.
Yeah,
But
true.
but yeah, you do tend to get like people who stay there for 100 years, and then people who come for like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And I guess everyone's hoping they'll get to the first category rather. Like I just need to get through a bit of a quiet period into classic character, but then like Layla had been there for forever, and she was still axed. Yeah.
Yeah. No one's safe, I guess, other than
Save.
Jeff Fordley.
Presumably. Can you imagine? Charity read Moses' little project about her giving birth. I thought it was quite sweet.
No, but then I couldn't really understand what it motivated her to do because it was like, yeah, I really do need to put my family first. And I thought that meant I will tell them the truth
Oh no.
about their lineage. But it didn't. It meant I will steal money from them so that I can continue to lie.
Yeah, where did she get this money from? Was she like stealing Noah's tools or something?
I thought it was that Ryan asked her to go pay that money into the bank and she forged a paying in slip, but maybe she didn't.
Oh, that's right. I was sort of doing something else. I was watching the episode because she seemed to be like trying to work out how valuable his tools were to steal or something, but then gave up on that. Maybe.
Yeah, I think she gave up on that, and she was on a bit of a hiding to nothing with it.
Yeah, awkward. But yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, obviously it's going to come out at some point. I sort of assumed it would be relatively soon, but maybe it won't.
Yeah, I have no idea. I want it to be soon.
But what I did like about that scene is that often people read letters aloud for no reason. So at least they framed it of like, she's reading it to baby Layla. And it's like, okay, that does make at least more sense than usual in these situations.
Yeah, true. And I don't think there's anything worse than when you have just the non-diegetic voice of someone just reading it, but it's overlaid over a montage, and you're
Oh
like, I
yeah,
can't.
horrendous.
They're reading it
There's
in their head. You can hear their voice.
there's something that I think Hollyoaks still do this, but Neighbours did it for a while when they're like reading things, particularly if it's a text message, it'll just appear on screen above their head, and
Oh,
that was a hard time as well.
yeah, that sounds really tough. Sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Imagine if it just been like handwriting scrolling behind her on screen.
I would feel quite medieval in a way.
That would be nice. I caught a clip of her on This Morning or Good Morning Britain or something, Emma Atkins, and she was talking about the storyline, but she also mentioned, and I have to go find this, that apparently her giving birth was on Gogglebox.
No
And
way.
she was like, everyone was just like, she's too old to have a baby. It was really hard to watch.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah. And look, she is too old to have a baby, but
Hey, geriatric mothers are still mothers.
well, yeah, I suppose she's more mother than anyone realizes. But you are geriatric at 35 and she's what, 50? So it's
Gosh, well, I've got 2 years to not be a geriatric mother. That's a bit troubling.
There's nothing wrong with being a geriatric mother.
Well, I just said that, and now I'm being forced to believe my
Exactly.
own words.
I'm so sorry if this
Right,
happened to
I
you.
never thought that I would. So
Yeah.
funny.
Oh my gosh. Yes, my friend Lorna had a baby a couple of years ago, and she would have been, I guess, 37 by then. She was like, yeah, the people do use that term far too
My
often.
God, that is crazy.
It's like, let's have a bit of rebranding.
Yeah, I think we should rebrand it to like, I don't know, latter day mothers.
That's so much worse. And I like, do we
Yeah.
need a name? Do we need a name for it at all? Can they not just be like,
Oh,
oh, since you're over 35, there are additional risks or something? We'd have to be like, oh, because you're an ancient mother, because you're decrepit.
because you're on death's door, we're gonna have to do some tests.
You might not last to the end of your pregnancy just by natural causes, so we do need to have some backup plan.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
because you're withering, I think it's.
You seem to be stumbling, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we joke, but I think had the word geriatric not already been used in that context, that would sound worse than anything we're coming up with. So
Yeah, so true.
as a senile mother, it's like oh dear.
Oh.
My final thing, I don't know if you saw this on Emmerdale's Insta channels, is that Laura Norton, who plays Carrie, has been teaching Michael Hart, aka Ross, some sign language.
I did see that, and I was gonna send it to you actually because I know you're learning sign language, and then I totally
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah, they did 3 lessons. He was in full scar makeup, but as himself, so that was that was quite disconcerting. Because yeah, Laura Norton's got 2 children who have Usher syndrome, which includes deafness, amongst many different symptoms. So they're doing this as sort of awareness raising, and I really enjoyed. I mean, I knew all the things, so I was pleased
That's
about
so
that.
cool.
And his little test at the end, and he was actually doing some of the mistakes that I do. So it's like, oh yeah, I also forget to mouth the word whilst I'm doing my actions because I'm trying
You
to think
guys
of too
have
many things.
so much in common. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, if it is him, I'll just go greet him in sign language when we get to the tour.
Yeah, that'd be so sweet. I mean, I'm sorry to say, probably won't remember anything of it, and he'll just be like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, I mean, if it is Laura Norton, I could greet her in sign language, but then she might
It's true.
reply fluently, and I'd just be there being like, oh, we have reached the end of what I can do, I'm afraid. But
Yeah, and she might also just assume that you're deaf, and then you end up sort of trapped in a awkward situation where I could be a translator, I suppose.
which is like, why are you asking me to do a voice note? You can't possibly hear it. It was like,
It's great for you that you have a podcast, but talk me through how that works.
yeah. Yeah, so these are all obstacles strewn on my path. But oh dear.
I bet there are some really good podcasts by deaf people, and I'd love to hear them, actually. I might
I'm
need
sure
to
there
look.
are. Yeah, there's definitely lots of good people on Instagram, but what does slightly annoy me is that most of the ones they get recommended are American Sign Language, which is totally different, so
Oh, that's a
not
shame.
useful to me.
Not what you need.
Yeah. Well, should we do a little random name generator?
Yeah, do it.
Today we're going to say, what do we think? Oh, please fix the errors highlighted above. Sorry. I realize I've not put any of the names into the generator. that will stymie it. What do you think about the error generated above as a topic?
I can talk about that for some time, actually.
Pick
Wonderful.
a random name. It is Belle.
I love Belle, and I love that I think I've said this like comparatively recently, maybe when we were talking about the storyline with Cammy, but I feel like because I started watching Emmerdale when she was in this horrible abusive relationship with Tom, obviously I could see that she wasn't well, and she's like being gaslit the whole time and retreating into herself, and that was really like sad. But I don't think I got maybe the impact of that because I didn't know what she was like normally. Whereas it's so great to see her back on form, and she's so like bright, and she's got so much charisma and like just like motivation to get things done and to help people and push things forward. And I think she's just a ray of light, and I'm so glad that she's with Cammy because he's the other ray of light.
Yeah, I also love her now. Like, as we said at the time, the Tom storyline went on for so long that I did get so sick of it, and then consequently sick of seeing her on screen.
Mm.
And bless her, she's been through so much in her life. Like, the other sort of big stories I've seen her in was when she had like psychotic breakdown, when she accidentally killed her best friend, when she um they've actually had lots of like mental illness storylines, because these things obviously do recur, so it is good that they don't
Mm.
sort of do it once and then never refer to it again. But it has meant that a lot of her stories have been quite miserable. Um, so I like that that she's still a sunny, witty, feisty person despite all that. But also, it's fun when we get to see those stories. And yeah, she's going to be great with Cammy once they finally get it together and maybe appear on screen sometimes. Um, yeah, she's a really good actress. I love that she's been there for since she was like born or something.
I know. I was
Um,
going to say that. I love when you watch old episodes and she's there and she's so cute as a little girl.
yeah, she was such a sweetie. Yeah, because I think similarly, like, whilst obviously I'd seen her in the past, I hadn't really seen her as an adult, I don't think, or she was maybe like 18, 19 or something when I stopped watching. So when she was in this really difficult storyline with Tom, it was like, oh, this is a different stage of life. Because she had a relationship with a doctor guy who was much older than her, who turned out to be married or having an affair or something. So she'd had like adult storylines,
Sure.
but she wasn't as like established in her adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously she's a dingle, so she's got so many different family members to have relationships with, and I love her relationship with Sam. I like the way she like
Mhm.
isn't afraid to tell Cain what's up. She's got a lovely relationship with Lydia as like sort of mother surrogate.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like I don't think, do we ever see her interact with Sarah, because they're like similar age, but not massively.
Not massively. Actually, that was something that was quite nice over the last couple of weeks, was seeing Sarah interact with Robert and Aaron, because you're like, wow, you've never really done that before.
That was actually something I saw in that interview where the person was talking about new Sugdens and new Tates, and she's like, "I want people to remember that Sarah is a Sugden, and it is her surname, but she never hangs out with the Sugdens." So
That could happen probably more easily than bringing an old character back. Just writing
yeah,
it.
like, oh, she is literally here. Um, that was another thing that I was so sad Andy couldn't be here when her baby was born. It's like, well, he could be here. He's just decided not to be
No,
because he's on the run.
not in many ways, because he won't.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be good. Because you know how frustrated I was that she never interacted with Victoria. Auntie Beck could have
Yeah,
helped her through so much, but
true.
yeah. So maybe we'll see more of, because Jacob's a Sugden now as well, isn't he? He changed his surname to Sugden.
Yeah, I just forgot about that. Oh, sorry, yawning. I feel like all we've both done in this podcast is yawn the whole way
I know
through.
it is, and it's not even one of the ones we do late at night. It is lunchtime. So.
It's literally lunchtime. It's a real shame.
Oh dear. So yeah, Belle, we love you. Stay around forever. Have some happy times.
Yeah, have a cute time. We rate you. I'd love to meet her. Well, Eden
That'd
kind of.
be good. Yeah, that'd be nice. Farming content.
Farming content. Uh, I guess the fence in the top field, famously.
We saw a couple
Um,
of horses, or possibly the same horse twice, just going through the high street.
we saw Robert on a farm while he was getting smacked around the head.
Of course, and the farm is now on fire, so that's farming content.
Oh, and that's a classic part of the arable year.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen much, like crop irrigation or something, but
No, but that would be boring anyway.
it would be quite tedious. Well, you'd love
I would love it, but I think the nation might cry out.
it. And I guess allotments are not farming, but we have seen some plants.
Yeah, you certainly learned a lot about asparagus. So
I did. I was doubting, but now I believe. So yeah,
Thomas.
huge, 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 huge. Um, well, I guess we're done. I was going to mention how weird it is that everyone refers to Dr. Todd as Todd all the time, but that feels like the moment's passed.
Well, it sounds like you did just mention it. So
You're so right. You're so right. Thank you so much for everyone who's listened during our first year. Can't believe it's been a year.
yeah, I can't believe it's been a year. We probably should have like got a cake or something, but
Yeah, maybe I'll go and buy an almond croissant.
I've got the leftovers quite a dubious vegan coconut cake downstairs.
Oh, babe.
So that's a shame.
Yeah, you literally live like a stone's throw from a bakery, so
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
that's something
True.
nice.
I can sort myself out in a way that I probably won't. But
Whereas I'm going to drive to get my croissant. / I do need to go and collect some Canadian dollars from a post office. So,
it's a
yeah,
classic Friday afternoon activity for you.
it is. It is. Don't tell my boss. Anyway, Every blessing to you and yours. Do get in touch at dinglealltheway.pod at gmail.com. Thanks again
Please
for all your
are.
support. Do rate and review if you've not done that. It helps more people find us.
And we love that people want to find us. So
Yeah, we love you.
we love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.